English, but they are important because whenever you write them, it makes your writing very decent. It makes your writing, your English, very decorative. And therefore, you must have the knowledge of some of the very important words. And these words are in a series. That means as I explained you in the very first lecture, that some of the words share the common morphemes. So here you will find that there are some sets of the words which have the common morphemes, and these words are very important, not from the language point of view, but as I told you, that it makes your language very, very impressive, very decorative, and very decent. So one by one, I will write the words and I will explain the words. Not only write the words, not only tell you the meaning, but I will also tell about the etymology, the morphology of the words. The first two important words are misanthropist and philanthropist. These are very important words. Can anybody tell me what is the meaning of philanthropist? Can anybody tell me what is the meaning of philanthropist? Yes, Priyanka.
Sir, philanthropist means a kind.
Please say loudly. Please speak loudly.
Okay. Philanthropist means a person who loves mankind.
Okay. Philanthropist
Am I
means
audible?
a person who loves human race, a person who loves
Okay.
everybody, person who loves mankind is called philanthropist. Now, how many morphemes you can see in this single word? Can anybody tell how many morphemes are there in the single word? Yes, Manali,
Sir, I think three.
tell me which three are there.
Sir, Phil, Anthro, and Pist.
So there are three morphemes. One is Phil, another is Anthrop, and another is IST. Now, what is IST? Whenever you will find that there is IST, generally it makes the person noun. For example, cycle and cyclist, style and stylist. So whenever there is IST, you will have to understand that it must be a person noun. So philanthropist is a person noun. Okay, because there is IST morpheme. Now anthrop. Anthrop means man. Anthrop means man. And phil. Phil means love. So when you love mankind, it is called philanthropist. You are a person who loves the mankind, then it should be the philanthropist. The word should be philanthropist. Remember, anthrop means man. Anthrop means human race. Now, exactly opposite to philanthropist is misanthropist. Now, miss means head. Anthrop means, as I told you, it is human being, and ist makes the person noun. Then the total meaning will be a person who hates the mankind is misanthropist. Okay, so if we want to use these words into sentences, then you can say that Mahatma Gandhi was a philanthropist. You can say that Hitler was a misanthropist. Now again, from anthrop we have anthropology. Again we have the word anthropology having anthropomorphism. Now, what is anthropology? Anthropology is a science, it is a branch of social studies. It is a science that studies the cultural history of mankind. It studies the cultural history of mankind. In the earlier period, we lived in a jungle, we hunted the animal, we ate the animal, and then transformation begins, then monarchy, and this Kabila, and then democracy, everything, the cultural history. Our religion in earlier days were different. Our religion after some years it was different, and then again, and then again, and then again, everything is going to change. Our cultural, our cultural traits, for example, marriage. So the marriage, the ritual of marriage in ancient time it was different, in medieval time it's different, and in modern time it is totally different. All the cultural traits keeps changing. They do not become static, they are not static, they always are changing. Even religions always change. In the beginning period we believed in tribal religion, then we started pagan religion. Then we started the animated religion. Then we started the prophetic religion. And in some of the country, they are following ethical religion. So every religion has a limited time span for living, and then they die and the new religions come. Okay, but common man thinks that whenever, if you are a common man, you think that your religion is permanent from the beginning of the earth and from the end of the earth, but it is not the case. Always religions keeps changing, but the span, the living span is always larger. Sometimes 50 years, sometimes 10,000 years, sometimes 5,000 years, sometimes 25,000 years. So span is very much bigger, but they keep changing. So it is called anthropology. What is anthropology? It is study of cultural development of human race. It is a study of cultural development of human race. Now again, I will take the morpheme field, bibliophile. The same morpheme fill is used in bibliophile. Now file or fill, as I told you, the meaning is love. Now if you know the meaning of biblio, if you know the meaning of real meaning of Bible, then you can assume what could be the total meaning. Okay, what is the meaning of Bible? What is the meaning of Bible? Yes, Payal.
It is a religious book of Christians.
It is a religious book of Christianity. That is the title. Okay. But what is the meaning of the word Bible? I am asking you the meaning of the word Bible. Okay. For example, if I ask you what is the meaning of Quran, then the meaning of Quran is that the holy message. The meaning of the word Quran is the holy message. If I ask you what is the meaning of Gita, then the meaning is the holy song. And in the same way, what is the meaning of the word Bible? I am not asking you what is Bible. I am asking you what is the meaning of the word Bible. Yes, Priyanka.
પવિત્ર પુસ્તકોના સંગ્રહને આપણે બાઇબલ કહી શકીએ?
Yes. Bible means the collection of holy books. Bible means the collection of holy books. And if you want to make it short, it is collection of books. And if you want to make shorter, it is books. Okay. So books and love. If you love books, then you are bibliophile. Very simple. If you love the books, then you are bibliophile. That means if you are a voracious reader, if you read too much, then you are a bibliophile. So first of all, I request you to write down the meanings of all these four words. First of all, write down philanthropist. Philanthropist. Write down phil is equal to love. Phil is equal to love. Anthrop, humankind. Anthrop, humankind. Or mankind. IST. IST makes a personal noun. IST makes a person noun. Now the total meaning. The total meaning, a person who loves mankind. A person who loves mankind. Second, misanthropist. Second, misanthropist. Mis means head. Mis is equal to head. The total meaning is a person who hates mankind. A person who hates mankind. Word number 3, anthropology. Word number 3, anthropology. Anthropology. A study of the development. A study of the development of culture of human race. Of culture of human race. Last one, bibliophile. Last one is bibliophile. A person who loves books. A person who loves books. Next pair, they are antonyms to each other, and you know the meaning of the latter one, that is talkative, a person who talks too much. And if the person does not talks too much or speaks very less, then it is called reticent. In Gujarati, we call it ocha bolo. So If the person speaks very less, then he is called reticent. Otherwise, if he speaks too much, then it is called talkative. So write down reticent. Reticent. A person, a person who talks too much. Sorry, a person who talks very less. A person who talks very less. He is called reticent. And a person who talks too much is called talkative. Next is epitaph. Does anybody know what is epitaph? Can anybody tell me what is an epitaph? What is an epitaph? Epitaph is lines which are inscribed, which are written on the tombstone of any grave of a person. I repeat, epitaph are the lines which are written on the tombstone of a grave of a person. Okay. In our culture, here in India, people are not buried, but the dead bodies are burnt. But in Western world, in Muslim world, in Christian world, people are buried into the graves. And on every grave, there will be a stone. And on the stone, there will be some lines. The lines are according to the personality of the dead person. Or sometimes there are many people who, before they die, they say their friends that the epitaph on his grave should be like this. So there are many epitaph which are world famous. Okay, for example, Plato. When Plato died, Plato was the great philosopher of Greek. When he died, he had a wish that his epitaph should be like this. He had told his disciples, his student, that they should write this epitaph on his tombstone. And even today, if you visit Athens, there is the grave of Plato, and these epitaph can be read in Greek language today also. It is a very famous epitaph. Plato wanted that the world may know him as a teacher, and therefore he said that my epitaph should be, "Here lies a teacher." Now, you might have seen pyramids, not in real, but in posters, in movies, in photos, in many videos or films. You might have seen pyramid. Yes or no?
Yes.
How many of you have seen the pyramids in films or photos? Please raise your hand. And others haven't seen pyramid at all. there are 26 people and only 10 people raise their hand. Does it mean that others do not know what is pyramid? Okay, there are many pyramids in Egypt, and the most famous pyramid, the biggest one, is the Pyramid of Giza. And the photo that we see of the pyramid is always the Pyramid of Giza. And you might remember in your memory that there is a pyramid, and here a head, a statue of head, exactly on the right side of the pyramid. There is a big, huge statue of a head. You might be remember, and it is almost broken. It is not in intact position. It is almost broken, and this head belongs to the king Ramses II. Ramses II. He was a great king of Egypt. And what is his epitaph? His epitaph is the most extraordinary epitaph in the world. The lines are like this. You Almighty, look at my state and despair. What does it mean? It means that he challenges the God. Oh God, you come and visit my Egypt, my state, and you will find that my Egypt is far better than your heaven. So you will be despaired, you will be disappointed, you will be sad because my Egypt is more beautiful than your heaven. Okay, so this might be a very great king, and he might have done so many good things for the people, for the state, for the city, and therefore the epitaph was like this. So in this world there are so many interesting epitaphs, and I cannot spare much time to tell you almost all the famous epitaphs. But in future, if we will find time or meet somewhere in another class, I can tell you about 3 or 4 more interesting epitaphs. So write down the meaning of epitaph. Epitaph means the lines inscribed on the tombstone of a grave. Now, I am asking you a very serious question, and for you, it would be really difficult to answer this question. Listen me carefully and please answer in any language. You can answer in Hindi or Gujarati or English. If you know Sanskrit, then Sanskrit also. But answer. My question is, what is your wish? What lines do you want that your friends inscribe on your tombstone? For example, for a while, think that you will be buried. You will not be burnt. You will be buried, and there will be a grave, and there will be a tombstone. Then, which lines do you want on your tombstone? I give you 1 minute only. Think, and whatever you like, answer me. Okay, but answer, please. I hope you understood my question. What kind of epitaph do you want on your tombstone? Only two have dared to raise their hands because it is really a very, very serious question. And not only serious, but it requires a lot of thinking. It requires really a lot of thinking that what should be the lines which can be conforming to your personality or your wish, either wish or personality. Yes, Sandhya.
યસ સર માય વિશ ઇઝ હું એવું ઈચ્છીશ કે એવું લખાય કે જિંદગી એક છે તો જીવી લે.
Good. Okay, that,
That's
that is okay. There is nothing wrong. But as I told you that your tombstone lines, your epitaph should be according to your personality. According to your personality. For example, Plato wanted that the world know him as a teacher, and therefore his epitaph is here lies a teacher. Ramses II wanted that the people remember him as a great king, and therefore his epitaph was you almighty visit my Egypt and you will be despaired. Payal.
Uh, there is my favorite Italian phrase,
Hmm.
La vita è bella. That
What is
means
the English translation?
life is beautiful.
Life is
Beautiful.
life is beautiful. Okay. Anyone else? I request you to answer either in English or in Gujarati. It doesn't matter. Language doesn't matter. Whatever. What I want to know is about your thoughts, about your wish, about your philosophy, about your psychology. Here it is not question of language. Here it is question of philosophy. Anyone else? Yes, Manali.
Sir, I would like to wrote, don't be dared to speak against non-violence.
Good, very good. Anyone else? Mahavir.
यस सर। शायद जिंदगी कोई ख्वाब ही तो है जो हो सकता है थोड़ा ज्यादा चले.
Good. Anyone else? Anyone else? Priyanka.
Yes, sir.
Any ideas?
Not exactly.
Not exactly. Madhvi.
Yes, sir.
No. Okay. So let us move forward. Some of you only 5 people could dare to say because it was about death. So whenever it comes to death, we are horrified and we become bit complicated and bit confused. And yet some of you could answer the question. I liked it. We move forward. So these are not very much a difficult word. Almost all the words are very, generally that comes in reading, that comes in books. It happens in books. It occurs in books frequently. Optimist is the Gujarati translation is very famous. That is Ashavadi. Pessimist, that is Nirashavadi, and egotist and egoist. Now, what is the difference between egotist and egoist? Egotist always think that he is superior to others. Egoist thinks that he is always right. So that is the difference between egotist and egoist. He is suffering from superiority complex. He always thinks that he is superior to others, and egoist thinks that his belief, his ideas, his thoughts are always right. Okay. So write down one by one. The optimist. First of all, optimist. A person who looks brighter side of the thing. A person who looks the brighter side of the thing. Next, pessimist. A person who looks the darker side of the thing. Egotist. A person who thinks that he is superior to others. He is superior to others. Last one, egoist. A person who thinks that he is always right. A person who thinks that he is always right. The first one is very familiar to you, democracy, as we call it, Lokshahi. It is for the people, by the people, and of the people. And the English translation, if you want, of democracy is rule by people. Rule by people. Bureau means officials. So if the government is ruled by the officials, if the government is dominated by the officials, then it is called bureaucracy. Auto means single person. If a government is ruled by a single person, then it is called autocracy. And monarchy and anarchy. Monarchy means a state where there is a king, a state run by the king, a state ruled by the king, that is called monarchy. And anarchy. Now, if you try to study this word monarchy, then it is made by two morphemes. Mono plus archy. Arc. Arc means head. Arc means boss. Okay. Mono means single. If there is a single boss, then it is called monarchy or Rajashahi. Now, whenever there is n, then you have to understand that n means without. Arc, head. If a state is without any head, if the state is without any kind of government, then it is called anarchy. Why suggest the condition? If a state is without ruler, then it is called anarchy. So monarchy and anarchy both have the common morpheme arc. Mono means single, and means without, and actually is a Hebrew affix. Now look at this title of the film. I hope all of you might have heard this name, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
How many of you have seen this movie? How many of you have seen this famous Amitabh Bachchan movie, Amar Akbar Anthony? Only 6 people have seen this movie. 7, 8, 9. Okay. This is a very famous movie, and the title is also interesting. But as I told you, you do not have the habit to study the words. You might not have found any interesting in the title, but title is actually interesting. Look, Amar, the word is Gujarati, or you can say Sanskrit, because Gujarati is the daughter of Sanskrit. Now, Amar, what is the meaning of Amar? A person who does not have Maran. Means without. A person without Maran, that is Amar. We call it Amar. Okay. Now, look at the second one, Akbar. Again, A is without. Kabar means Mrityu. A person who has no Kabar means a person who is immortal, who is Amar. Again, An, without. Thoni, death. It is Hebrew. It is actually Hebrew word. Anthony, Thoni, death, and without, a person without death. So the names, all the three names of the three brothers have the same meaning of three different languages. One is, we can say, Gujarati, Hindi, Sanskrit. Another, that is Farsi or Arabic, because Akbar is originally Arabic Farsi word, and then Anthony, that is originally Hebrew word, but the meaning remains the same. And that is why Manmohan Desai, the director producer of Amar Akbar Anthony, is, you know, very very reputed and very interesting person, because he always finds out such things. Does anybody know the meaning of all the three words? The meaning of all the three words, that is transparent, opaque, and translucent. Karishma.
Transparent means पारदर्शक. Opaque means I don't know कि right है कि नहीं. Opaque means attempt to something. And transparent, I don't know.
Okay.
But I know the transparent and opaque.
Okay. Janki.
ટ્રાન્સપરન્ટ મીન્સ આર પાર જોઈ શકાય પારદર્શક. ઓપેક મીન્સ અપારદર્શક અને ટ્રાન્સક્યુલેન્ટનું નથી ખબર સર.
Okay. So these two are very common. That is pardarsak and that is apardarsak. Now how will we define the word pardarsak? The thing that allows the light to pass through. That is transparent. Opaque means the thing that does not allow the light to pass through. That is apardarsak. Now the only one remains, that is translucent. The translucent is something between these and these. Sandhya.
સર હા સર ધૂંધળું દેખાય ને એ રીતે મને ગુજરાતી શબ્દ યાદ નથી આવતો. ધૂંધળું દેખાય આપણને, ન ક્લિયર અને ન ઝાંખું.
Yes, the Gujarati word is very simple. Ardhpardarshak.
હા સર સોરી.
So pardarshak, apardarshak and ardhpardarshak. And how will we define these words into English? The thing that allows the light to pass through, the things that does not allow the light to pass through, and the thing that allows the light pass through but partially, not fully. But partially, not fully. In part. Partially means in part. So these are the definition that you have to remember. You can write down also the thing that allows the light to pass through. Other three important words, very important words, very important words. They are used often and again. If you read books, then you will have to face them. Cynic, Stoic, and Epicurean. Cynic, Stoic, and Epicurean. Anybody knows the meanings? Yes, Karishma.
Cynic means anybody to motivate a person to someone, or stonic?
No.
No, okay. Or stonic means something gaurav purna કહી શકાય એ રીતનું. Okay.
Anyone else? Manali?
Sir, cynic means self-motivated a person.
Not at all. Not at all. There are many people. There are very few people. Actually, in this world, the real cynic people are difficult to find. Okay? The cynic people questions everything. The cynic people doubt everything. The cynic people cannot trust on anyone. Such people are called cynic. And there is not a Gujarati synonym for this cynicism. But if you do not have any friend, if you doubt your friends, if you doubt your parents, if you doubt your relatives, if you doubt your classmates, in each and every action you doubt, and you doubt, then you are cynic. Okay. Now, the interesting thing is that cynicism can be seen on this earth for a very short period. For example, when the World War II was over, 1945, the World War II that began in 1939 and it ended in around 1945. And as soon as the World War was over, after few months, people suddenly became cynic. Most of the people became cynic. Why it is so? Because they have seen the death all around. Okay? Their friends were dead, their brothers were dead, their fathers were dead, so many deaths were there. And their trust on humanity was gone. And once your trust on humanity is gone, then the cynicism enters. So, in a very special condition, cynicism enter in our mind. In general condition, in the situation like this that we are living, you and we are living, this is not the situation, because cynicism is a very, very special, very, very, particular condition. Okay. Next is stoic. Stoic means a person who let go all kinds of pleasures. Okay. We call it in Gujarati, we call it saimi. Okay. He doesn't enjoy the pleasures of the life. He let them go. He renounces them. He renunciates them. And he goes out of the society sometimes, go to forest for top and for that thing and for those things. Such people is called stoic. And the last one is Epicurean. Epicurus was a Greek philosopher, and he believes that we should live our life by drinking, eating, and enjoying. And we should not follow any religion. There is no God. We have a limited life and limited period of life, and our duty is to drink, enjoy, and eat and entertain yourself. That's all. The same philosophy that in India in old days Charvak has given. Charvak, there was a Rishi Muni in India, his name was Charvak, and Charvak has first of all give this atheism. Atheism means no God. Okay. And Charvak and his all Sahitas, all books were burnt alive. So we do not find what was written by Charvak, because every book of Charvak is burnt by those who believed in God. So these are the most important word. I repeat. Who is a cynic? A person who doubts and questions each and everything. Stoic, who renunciate the pleasures of the life. Epicurean, a person who believes in the philosophy of eat, drink, and enjoy. Okay, these are the explanation of all these words. What is the meaning of gluttony? If anybody knows, please tell me. What is the meaning of gluttony? If you read Bible, then in Bible there are 7 deadly sins. Bible said that you should not have any one of these 7 deadly sins, and gluttony is one of them. So gluttony is a very dangerous thing. In Bible there are 7 bad sins, and one of them is gluttony. I would like to know if you have the translation. Yes, Karishma.
Hunger, very much hunger.
Yes. Gluttony.
ખાવાનું વધારે પડતું.
Yes, very good. Gluttony in Gujarati, we have a very special word. For that person who has gluttony, that is akrantyo. The person who eats too much is glutton. A person who eats too much is glutton. And habit of eating too much is gluttony. And the Gujarati word is khaudrapanu, or for that person we have akrantyo. Very interesting word, that is akrantyo, means a person who eats too much. Okay, so write down the gluttony, habit of eating too much, habit of eating too much. Three words: herbivorous, carnivorous, and omnivorous. Naturally, they have the similar morphemes, and therefore there will be similarity in meaning also. If you know the meaning, tell me. Payal.
Herbivorous means Shakahari, Carnivorous means Masahari, and Omnivorous means Mishahari.
Okay, very good. Now, these three words, they are related to food habit, but the important thing is that you should remember that these words are applicable only to the animal, not human being. They are applicable to only animals. Now, herb, you know herb, herbal herb. Herb means plant leaves. Devour means to eat. So there are two morphemes. One is herb, another is devour or vor means to eat. So animal which eats plants and leaves, they are herbivorous. Animals who eats carnes. Carnes means dead body of other animals. That is called carnes. The animals which eat the dead body of other animals, they are carnivorous. And the animals which eat herbs also and dead bodies also, mean all. Omni means all. They are called omnivorous. Okay. But as I told you, this can be applicable only to the animals. If a person who eats meat, then you cannot say that Jethabai is carnivorous. We cannot say like that Maganbai is a carnivorous. Okay, Maganbai is a non-vegetarian. We cannot say carnivorous because carnivorous is applicable only to the animals. Okay. Now, we are moving to a very, very important point. of our class. That is how to face interview, how to prepare yourself for an interview. What are the essential things to crack the interview? And once the discussion is over, once the theory part is over, I would like to arrange mock interview online of at least some of you. Okay. As you know, that what is interview? The word interview is made of two morphemes. Inter means inside, view means look. When you try to look inside a man, what kind of stuff he has in his brain, what kind of attitude he has, what kind of skill he has. When you try to find out these things and you try to look inside a man, it is called interview. Okay, that you already know. My point is that what is the most important thing for cracking an interview, for successfully completing an interview? I give you 7 or 8 words here, and you tell me what is the most important, what is the next important, what is next to next important. So you have to give me the preference that for interview this must be most important. Okay, you have to tell me.
Sir,
I hope you can read and see the board fully.
સર થોડુંક નીચેથી નથી દેખાતું.
Okay.
ના સર નથી દેખાતું. ઓકે સર, ઓકે સ્લાઇડ પ્લીઝ ડાઉન સર. ઓકે સર, ઓકે રેડી.
Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. There are 7 things that I have written on the board. I give you 3 minutes. After 3 minutes, I will ask you your preference. If you think that general knowledge is the most important, then you have to tell me that, sir, now general knowledge is number 1, and this should be number 2, this should be number 4, this should be number 5. So all the 7 items should be given preferences. So I will ask you the preferences. Okay. So in 3 minutes, you think out that for you which is the most important, which is the next to that, which is next to that. Okay, so you will have to given 7 numbers to these 7 things. 1 number the most important thing, 7 number the least important thing. Okay, so you have to give the number. Okay, after 3 minutes I will ask you. So let me drink some water and take some rest. So I hope you are ready now. Okay. I really wish that all of you try to answer this question, because uh, this is not something which can be right or wrong. It is just opinion. So there is no question of right or wrong. You, all of you may be right. I cannot say that you are wrong, because this is the question of preference, and preference is changes person to person. So you have to just give me the numbers. Okay. Sandhya.
જી સર મારા મુજબ ફર્સ્ટ આપણે નંબર આપવો જોઈએ નોલેજ ઓફ રિક્વાયર ફોર ધ પોસ્ટ, જે આપણે પોસ્ટ જઈએ છીએ એની આપણને નોલેજ હોવું જોઈએ. સેકન્ડ છે કે એક્સટર્નલ પર્સનાલિટી, કે આપણે બહારથી જો આપણે પોલીસની દેવા જતા હોય ઇન્ટરવ્યુ ને ત્યાં આપણે ડોક્ટર જેવું વર્તન કરીએ તો યોગ્ય ન લાગે, આપણી પર્સનાલિટી એવી ન હોવી જોઈએ. થર્ડ છે કોમ્યુનિકેશન સ્કિલ, તમે જે કઈ જાઓ છો જો તમે કોમ્યુનિકેટ સરખું ન થાવ તો એ કઈ મેટર જ નથી રહેતું. ફોર્થ છે કે સ્કિલ ટુ હેન્ડલ પર્સન, ગમે તે પરિસ્થિતિ હોય તો સામેવાળા વ્યક્તિને આપણે હેન્ડલ કરતા આવડવું જોઈએ. ફિફ્થ છે જનરલ નોલેજ, કે તમારા પાસે નોલેજ તો હોવું જોઈએ કે ક્યાં જાઓ છો શું છે એ બધું. અને સિક્સ હું માનું છું કે એગરનેસ ટુ લર્ન ન્યૂ થિંગ્સ, જો ન્યૂ થિંગ્સ ની એગર રહી છે આપણે ભણવું જ છે શીખવું જ છે તો આપણને હાર્ડવર્ક કરવાની હેબિટ પડશે. એટલે સિક્સ છે થિંક શીખવી, અને હેબિટ હાર્ડવર્ક ઇઝ 7 ફોર માય સેલ્ફ.
Okay.
થેન્ક યુ સર.
Next, Manali.
Yes, sir. According to me, communication skill should be the first priority for interview. Second, external personality. Third one, skill to handle people.
Mhm.
Fourth, eagerness to learn new things.
Mhm.
Fifth, habits of hard work.
Mhm.
Sixth, general knowledge. And
Mhm.
seventh, knowledge required for the post.
Okay. Arshid. Arshid Jadhav.
According to me, first one is knowledge requiring for the post. Second one is general knowledge. Third one is external personality. Fourth one is communication skill of people. Fifth one is eagerness to learn something new. Sixth one is skill to handle the people, and seven is a habit of hard work.
Habit of hard work. So you are putting habit of hard work at the bottom. Okay. Mahavir.
Yes, sir.
Mahavir.
Hi, yes, sir. According to me, the first is the communication skills. Second, eagerness to learn new things. Third, skill to handle people. Fourth, knowledge required for the post. Fifth, general knowledge. Sixth, hard work. Seventh, external personality.
Okay. Payal.
Okay, so according to me, first one will be knowledge required for the post. Second, communication skills. Third, habit of hard work. Fourth, external personality. Fifth, general knowledge. Sixth, skill to handle people. And seventh, eagerness to learn new things.
Okay. Priyanka.
સર મારા મત મુજબ એક્સટર્નલ પર્સનાલિટી ફર્સ્ટ આવશે, કારણ કે કોઈ પણ જગ્યાએ તમે ઇન્ટરવ્યૂ આપવા જાઓ છો એ તમને પહેલાં જોશે. તમે કમ્યુનિકેશન નો ડાઉટ, સેકન્ડ કમ્યુનિકેશન સ્કિલ. ફર્સ્ટ વન તમે જો કોઈ પણ જગ્યાએ એન્ટર થાવ છો તો પહેલાં તમારી પર્સનાલિટી કઈ રીતની છે, મે બી મારા મત મુજબ એવું છે કે એ લોકો ચેક કરે. સેકન્ડ વન કમ્યુનિકેશન સ્કિલ, અને થર્ડ વન છે કે નો ડાઉટ તમને નોલેજ એ પોસ્ટનું હોવું જોઈએ, બટ જનરલ નોલેજ પણ એટલું જ ઇમ્પોર્ટન્ટ છે કે પોસ્ટનું નોલેજ પણ છે અને જનરલ નોલેજ પણ. And next one is how to skill to handle people, and habit of hard work and eagerness to learn new things.
Okay. Karishma. Karishma Mughal. Karishma. Okay, I would not like to give my opinion. Okay. Okay, as I told you that it is not a question of something right or something wrong, because it is just the opinion, and opinion can be anything. But now I would like to tell you that how you should prepare for the interview. Okay, what are the most important thing in the interview before you enter into the interview chamber? What should be your mindset? What should be in your mind? How you should be prepared? That is the most important thing. If you are entering into interview chamber without preparation, without anticipation, without assumption, then it is possible that you baffle, you may be confused, you may not be so clear as you should be. And for that purpose, there are some techniques, and these techniques are very, very important. And therefore, I would like to throw some light on the interview techniques, how to face an interview techniques. There are so many techniques, and we will begin from the minor things. Okay, not much important thing, but they are minor thing. The minor thing from the list of the minor thing, the very first item is dress code. Okay, everybody knows, all of you must be graduate or postgraduate, and you know very well that whenever we are going for an interview, our dress must be formal. It should not be flamboyant, it should not be highly fashionable, it should not be casual, but it should be formal. That is a tradition. Why this is a tradition, how far it is proper or improper, that is a different question. But for this time being, for this purpose, we should consider that whenever we enter into interview chamber, remember, the interview chamber is a very dangerous thing. As soon as you enter, there will be 7 or 8 people waiting for you, and all of them are dagyas, and you are a small little rabbit, and before you there are very cruel dagyas, and they are ready to hunt you. And if you are not fully powerful, if you are not fully aware, then there will be a problem. So whatever may be panel is, the panel may be made of 5 people or 7 people or 11 people. It depends upon the post. Higher is the post, larger is the panel. Okay, that is a general rule. Higher is the post, larger is the panel. If you have applied for the post of Patawala, a peon, then there will be no panel at all. You enter into the interview chamber, and there will be only one person, and he will ask you only one question: cycle avde che? And if you say yes, then he will tell you that you are selected. That's all. Okay. But if you are giving the personality test for IAS or IPS or IFS, then there will be 11 people, and all the 11 people belong to different sections, different field. They are masters of their own fields, and they will ask you the question from different subjects, from different dimension, from different angles, and you have to tackle them. And for that purpose, you must be mentally ready. Now the question is how to be mentally ready. The first thing that I told you, that the dress must be formal. Okay. Now my question is, what do you mean by formal dress? What do you mean by formal dress? That is my question. If you do not know what is formal dress, If you are wearing something and you do not know whether it is formal or not formal, then it would be a problem for you. So my question is, what is a formal dress? Tell me directly without raising your hand. Without raising your hand, tell me directly, what is a formal dress?
તો ફોર્મલ ડ્રેસ એટલે કે બહુ ભડકા છાપ કલર્સ નો હોય, બહુ આમ આપણું બોડી ના દેખાતું હોય, કે એવી રીતે સિમ્પલ અને સોબર, કે જે તમે જે પોસ્ટ માટે અધરવાઇઝ જે આમ તમે જાઓ છો એને યોગ્યતા આપતું હોય એવી રીતના કપડા, કે બહુ ફેશન ના હોય, તમારું શરીર વ્યવસ્થિત ઢકાયેલું હોય, અને તો પણ તમે સાદા કપડામાં પણ વ્યવસ્થિત પર્સનાલિટી તમારી લાગતી હોય એવો ફોર્મલ ડ્રેસ.
Okay. You explained more than necessary. I am happy. Anyone else? Anyone else? You know, sometimes we use the word frequently, often and often, and but when somebody asks you the definition of that word, then we are confused. Everybody knows what is a formal dress, but if I ask you what is the definition of formal dress, then there will be the problem. So tell me, what is the formal dress? Okay, if you cannot explain, then I will explain. The first of all, let us go to the etymology of the word. There are two words which are very familiar. One is formal and another is informal. If I write a letter, if I here write a letter, then my letter can be formal or my letter can be informal. If there is a meeting, then meeting can be formal, the meeting can be informal. Something that has a definite form is called formal. Something that has definite form, it is called formal. For example, all business letter they are formal letter. Why? Because they have a definite form. Here it would be letterhead, here would be reference number, here would be the date, here would be the receiver's address, here it should be the subject, here would be the main body, here would be the attachment, list of attachment. There is a definite form. So something that is with the definite form, that is called formal. And if you do not follow this form, then your letter is informal. So in the same way, if your dress is made of definite form, that is traditional, then it is called formal. That is, I am explaining you etymologically. And as Sandhya said, formal means the color should not be too catchy, the stitching should not be too fashionable, and it should be suitable to occasion. Three things you have to remember. One, the color should not be too catchy and too fast. For example, you cannot wear your shirt should not be with light yellow, something that dazzles your eye, something that flashy. It should not be. It should be cold color, it should be English color, it should be a very good shade. Okay, the stitching should be traditional, it should not be too fashionable, and the dress should be fashionable to particular occasion. That is called formal dress. And what about shoes? What kind of shoes you should wear? Sports shoes is
કેઝ્યુઅલ શૂઝ પહેરવા જોઈએ સર.
okay. So shoes must be also formal. Okay, and it should not be sports shoes. So this is over. Okay. Now you are at home, you have got ready completely, you have now formal dress, you have your file in your hand, you have formal shoes also, you have come to the interview place and your name is announced, and now you are entering into the chamber. Okay. From entry to the chair on which you have to sit. This is five whole affair of 5 to 6 seconds. Okay. In this 5 6 second, what should you take care of? That is another not more important thing, but slightly important thing. That how you should enter, how you should take your seat. Two minor points. They are minor, but they should be considered. Okay. Any idea?
સર આપણે જ્યારે એન્ટ્રી લઈએ તો જો ડોર ઓપન હોય તો કે પરમિશન લઈએ, અધરવાઇઝ બંધ હોય તો માઇલ્ડલી ધીમેથી ડોર ખોલીએ અને સ્માઇલી ફેસ સાથે કહીએ, આપણે પરમિશન લઈએ કે મે કમ ઇન સર પ્લીઝ, વોટ એવર જે આપણે તે બોલવું હોય. પછી શાંતિથી ધીરેથી આપણે મીન્સ બહુ ધીમું નહીં પણ વ્યવસ્થિત રીતે આપણે આપણી જગ્યા સામે સરની સામે જઈએ અને આપણે એને પરમિશન લઈએ કે કેન આઈ સીટ, આપણે પૂછવું પડે અને એ આપણને પરમિશન આપે. ઈ પેલા સોરી આપણે એને અભિવાદન કરવું, પછી ગુડ મોર્નિંગ, ગુડ આફ્ટરનૂન, વોટ એવર જે હોય, પછી આપણે સીટ માટે પૂછવું જોઈએ. આપણને પરમિશન આપેલે શાંતિથી ધીરેથી ચેર ખસેડીને વ્યવસ્થિત બેસવું જોઈએ વિથ સ્માઇલી ફેસ.
Okay.
આઈ થિંક.
Okay, we have taken the seat. Now, what should be our posture? What should be our physical posture when we are sitting on the chair? ખુરશીમાં બેસતી વખતે કેવી સ્થિતિમાં બેસવું?
સર ટટ્ટાર બેસવું જોઈએ, નમલાની જેમ અને ટેબલ ઉપર હાથ રાખીને કેવી રીતે ના બેસવું જોઈએ.
Okay, but it should not be too tatar, because if
Yes,
you will be too tatar, then what happens? You after few minutes you will start to feel uncomfortable.
Yes,
So
sir.
be in a very normal position, sit in a normal position, but it should not look like that you are sick or you are feeble. So your position should be, as you told me, it should be tatar, but it should not be too tatar. That is the most
Just
important thing. Okay. Okay. So second thing is over. That is minor point, so we should not be discussed. Now we move to the most important thing that most of the candidates do not know. Barabar? If you know this point, then you are, the king of the interview, and that I am writing, and then I will explain. Okay. This point number 3 and this point number 4, they are extremely essential to crack the interview. Actually, they are one, but I have bifurcated them into two. First, most important thing is anticipation. Anticipation means to assume, to guess what kind of question can be asked. Okay. Before you enter into chamber, you must have clear idea that this question will be asked. This question may be asked. This question must be asked. Okay. If you have a ready list, prepared list of the questions, then for you it would be extremely easy to handle the interview. If you do not have the anticipation, then there will be a problem. And the last one, this is really magical point. Okay. You know that nobody is perfect. Neither you, nor I, nor the person who is asking to us the questions. Nobody is perfect. We have our weak points, and the committee already know. Remember, the committee, the panel already know what are your weak points. How does he? How does it know? It knows, the panel knows, because your biodata is already reached to the panel. So they have full knowledge about your education, about your life, about your skills, everything. So they know your weak points. Okay. So there will be a question which will throw light on your weak points. And your duty is, what you have to do? You have to do is convert the weak points into plus. And that art is an extremely difficult art. If you are not trained, if you are not prepared, then forget this. For example, let me give you a simple example. The post for which you have applied requires a fresh candidate and you are experienced. Then they want a fresh candidate and you are experienced candidate. Then your experience can be weakness, remember. Because if you are experienced, naturally you will demand more salary. They want a fresher because they want to give a lower salary. That is the point. And vice versa. They want experience and you are fresher, then you do not have the experience. That could be your weak point. Okay. Another thing, you are coming from a village and the post requires the knowledge of city life, then your being a villager can be a weak point, and that you should know before you enter into the committee. And you should also have a full strategy, full ideas how to convert your weakness into positive. That we will discuss later on. First of all, anticipation of the questions. Okay. Now, I would like to write some of the questions which are generally asked. Okay, which are generally asked and which are very difficult to answer. Okay, and if you are prepared for such a type of question before you enter into the panel interview committee, then half of the work is almost done. Okay. These two are extremely widely item. These two are frequently asked. These questions are the most confusing questions because if you commit a slight mistake, then then there can be a very wrong impression and you will lose a job. First question is First question is why should we hire you? Why should we give you a job in our company? That means we have to answer that we are better than other candidates. Now the point is how to prove yourself better than others. That is the headache. There may be some candidates who might have more percentage. There may be some candidates who might have more experience. There may be some candidate who might have done more research. There may be some candidate who might have more knowledge about the same company. Then the question is there any way by which we can prove that we are the most suitable candidate, we are the most worthy candidate? Is there anything? Please tell me. મનમાં જે વિચાર આવે એ તમે ખુલ્લા મને વ્યક્ત કરો, કોઈ જાતના ફિકર વગર. ગુજરાતીમાં કહું છું, કેવી રીતે સાબિત કરવું કે બીજા કેન્ડિડેટ કરતા તમે ચડિયાતા કેન્ડિડેટ છો અને એના માટે શું કરીને જાવું, મતલબ કે કેવી તૈયારી કરીને જાવી. તમને જે લેંગ્વેજમાં ફાવે એ લેંગ્વેજમાં આ સવાલનો જવાબ પણ એકદમ ટૂંકમાં આપવાની કોશિશ કરો. Anyone? Any idea? How will you prove yourself better candidate than others? Harshid, Jaini, Janki, Kushali, Mahavir, Manali, Payal, Ruchita Rathod. Yes, Mahavir.
Yes, sir. I can say that we can't every time prove ourselves better than anyone or something, but we can try our best for our from our side, and we can prove ourselves better.
How? The question is how?
We just I can just try to prove myself. I am compatible for your organization or company, and I will
But
do better
how?
for your.
The question remains the same. How? Question remains the same. How? Your mark sheet, your mark sheet doesn't tell that you are the best.
Yes.
Your experience certificate does not tell the same story. Then how will you prove that you are the best candidate? That is a question. Any idea? Payal, Jaini, Madhvi, Janki, Manali, Priyanka, Sandhya, Mahavir. No idea. Okay. This is very important. Remember, as soon as you read the advertisement in the newspaper for any post, if I give you a simple example, for example, there is a post of the manager in Ajanta Clocks Morbi. Okay. That is the advertisement. So you have read the Times of India early in the morning and you read an advertisement. The advertisement was for the Ajanta Clocks Morbi and the post is the manager. The first thing that you have to do is you have to find out everything about the clock production. There is always 15-20 days between the declaration of advertisement, publishing of advertisement and the interview. There will be at least 20 days. So within 20 days, what you have to do is find out each and every fact, each and every details about the production of the clothes, how it is produced, from where the raw material is imported, from to where it is exported, what are the condition of the bazaar, everything, whatever detail you can collect about the clock production and about the company Ajanta Clocks, you collect it. First thing. Second thing, think that what can you say that which can be prove your plus point. For example, you can say that I belong to Saurashtra, I know the Saurashtrian people, I know the mentality of the people who are employee and who are from Saurashtra, and that's why I can handle the people more easily because I belong to Saurashtra. Okay, etc. etc. So if you do not have any idea about the clock production, if you do not know what kind of what type of clocks are there, if you do not know what does it mean by quartz clock, then there will be the problem. But if you know everything which others candidate might not have known, they might be MBA with first class MBA in finance with that much percent, this much percentage, okay, but they might not be knowing about each and every detail about the clock production and export and import and raw material and selling and etc etc. They might not have knowledge, but you have, if you prove that I have already know each and everything about clock production, then there is chances that you can prove that even though you have a less percentage than other candidates, but you know each and everything about the clock production. Again, let me give you an example. Okay, there is another advertisement that you might have heard, you might have read in the early in the morning. You opened the newspaper, you read the advertisement. It was as a teacher was required for the lower primary section. Lower primary section means standard 1 to 4, and the school is SNK school. Okay, tell me, how will you prepare yourself to prove that you are better candidate? જે મનમાં આવે એ કયો કે હું આ પ્રકારની તૈયારી કરીને જાઉં જેથી કરીને I can prove that I am a very good candidate. જે મનમાં આવે એ કયો. Yes, Janki. જાનકી કુબાવત.
યસ સર. આપણે સ્કૂલમાં જનરલી કેવું હોય કે તમે કોઈ પણ લેક્ચર લેવા જાઓ ત્યારે તમારી સાથે કોઈ TLM એટલે કે ટીચિંગ લર્નિંગ મટીરિયલ હોય ને તો તમારું જે ભણાવવાનું છે એ ઇફેક્ટિવ લાગે. તો જેમ તમે વધારે TLM મટીરિયલનો ઉપયોગ કરો ને એમ તમારું જે સ્ટડી છે એ ઇફેક્ટિવ લાગે. તો એનો યુઝ કરીને આપણે કહી શકીએ કે સારું ભણાવી શકે એમ.
Yes, it's a really very important point. If you prove that I have created a lot of TLM, teaching learning material, I am master of forming the design of the test, I am master of forming the designing the quiz, I have that much material, I have a e-content, etc., and therefore I can teach better than other candidates. Anyone else? Anyone else? Mahavir. Mahavir.
Yes, sir.
Say something.
I should have prior knowledge of that school and teaching techniques.
Okay. Look at this. Lower primary school. It is a lower primary school. You are going to teach the children of from 6 to 10 years age. Now, as you know that the psychology of child is totally different from psychology of adolescent and psychology of youth. Okay, it is totally different to teach in college, it is totally different to teach in high school, and it is totally different to teach in lower primary school, because the child psychology is something different. Now, before you enter into the committee, please read so many material about the child psychology, and while in interview, while discussing about the teaching, about the learning, about the job, tell that you are the master of child psychology. You have read that book, you have read those books, you have read Falana, you have read Dikda, and you start, okay, and you prove that you are the master of child psychology, and therefore you can handle the class in a better way than some of other candidates. That is the most important point, that you know the child psychology of the age of 5 to 10, 5 to 11, etc. That is the most important point. So what is important? Important is, as soon as you read the advertisement, you just note down the points, that these are the points on which you have to read, on which you have to prepare, on which you have to train yourself, so that you can prove that in the interview committee that you are unique, you are different from other candidates. And if you do not have that idea, then you directly, without prepared, you enter into the interview chamber. It is possible that you may get the job, but you cannot prove yourself the the better candidate, the best candidate. And even though, as I told you, that you have a less marks, you have a less experience, you have a less that, you have a less those, it doesn't matter. But you can easily prove that you have so many special things that others don't have. And that special thing will get you job. So the most important thing is anticipation. Anticipation means to assume what kind of question can be asked. Okay. Anything you want to like to add? આમાં તમારે કાંઈ ઉમેરવાની ઈચ્છા ખરી?
સર મને એક પ્રશ્ન છે.
બોલો.
સર માનો કે કોઈ સ્કૂલમાં જઈએ છે ઇન્ટરવ્યુ માટે, તો શું આપણે આપણી આવડત છે ઈ એને સાબિત કરવી પડશે? જસ્ટ લાઈક TLM છે મારી પાસે, અધરવાઇઝ મને આવડે છે, તો શું હું ઈ બતાવી શકું કે ઈ વધારે પડતું લાગશે કે ભાઈ સર આ બનાવેલું છે, અધરવાઇઝ મને આ સારું આવડે છે, ઈ મારે પ્રૂફ કરવું પડશે, બતાવવું પડશે?
પ્રૂવ ન કરવાનું હોય, પણ કહેવાનું હોય. કહેવાનું હોય અને કીધા પછી એ લોકોને ડાઉટ જાય અને એક બે ક્વેશ્ચન એવા પૂછે કે જેથી કરીને એ લોકોને સંતોષ થાય કે નહીં, યુ રિયલી હેવ TLM. ઓકે, ધેટ્સ ઇટ.
અને સર કદાચ સારું કઈ લે આપણે સારું બનાવેલું છે કાઈ અને બતાવીએ તો ઈ વધારે પડતું દેખાશે કે ના ચાલે?
સાથે આપણે લઈ ન જઈ શકીએ, બરાબર? if they demand then you can show it. Okay, but you cannot have everything on your hand so that you can show it. But even if you just talk, they will find out if you are speaking right or a lie, if you are speaking true or a lie. They are expert people. Okay, as I told you that they are dagyas.
Yes, sir.
And we are innocent. We are innocent, and they are extremely experienced people. They can know you within 5 minutes. So it is not the question that you have to prove. There is no question of proving. You just tell them, and you during the discussion they will find out that whatever you have told is true or a lie, exaggerated or not exaggerated. Everything they will find out. Anything else? બીજું કાંઈ? જે કઈ મનમાં આવે કયો, કોઈ જાતની હિચકિચાટ વગર. અદિતિ, માધવી, સેજલ, ધારા, હાર્દિક, હર્ષિદ, જાનવી, જૈની, કાજુ, મહાવીર, મનાલી, પાયલ, પ્રોફેસર રુચિકા રાઠોડ, સંધ્યા. Anything you have any idea? If you do not speak, then this class is not a very good class. I tell you, what is the definition of higher education? The definition of higher education is that it is a process in which students and teachers get together, think, discuss and create knowledge. So you are here not just to listen me. It is not teaching learning. If you think that the person who is speaking, the teacher who is speaking is full of knowledge and we cannot add anything, then you are wrong. Okay? The teacher might be knowing more than you, but he cannot be a perfect man, or a perfect teacher, or perfect a store of perfect whole knowledge. It cannot be. So the discussion is very important. You say something, I listen, I add, I censor, I twist, I change, I transform. That is my job. That whatever you tell, I accept. I accept after twisting, I accept after changing, I accept after censoring, that cut this part, keep only this part. So I am editor. Okay. So if you do not discuss, then there will be not a very good class. So you must speak whatever comes in your big mind. Anyone else?
સર સેના વિશે કહીએ ઈ નથી સમજાતું.
Okay, so that can be a problem. So I give you an advertisement, and tomorrow, now we do not have time, we have just 1 minute. So I give you the post and the organization. You read the name of the post, you read the name of the organization, and tomorrow at 1 hour, at 1 o'clock, when we meet, you tell me what kind of preparation is required to prove yourself the better candidate.
હવે જાણું છું.
Very small post, and that is a salesperson, sales boy, sales girl, where in a huge large ready-made garment showroom. This is the very humble position. Okay, it is not something higher, it is very humble position. Okay, but even though, let us guess that, let us accept that they are giving very good salary, because the showroom is very big and very prestigious. So to do a job in such a showroom is also a very good thing. And the post is salesperson. It is a counter salesperson, remember. It is not door-to-door delivery salesperson, it is a counter salesperson. And you are preparing for yourself to be a better candidate than others. That I will ask you tomorrow. તો આજના માટે એટલું જ. કાલે આપણે ફરી મળીએ છીએ. બધાને હેવ એ નાઇસ ડે. અને એક વિનંતી છે કે જ્યારે આપણો ક્લાસ ચાલુ હોય ત્યારે તમારો ઓડિયો બંધ હોવો જોઈએ, પણ વિડિયો ચાલુ રાખવામાં કંઈ વાંધો નથી. વિડિયો તમે ચાલુ રાખો તો આપણે જાણે લાઈવ ક્લાસરૂમને ભણાવતા હોવ એવું લાગે, બરાબર? અને જ્યારે તમે બોલો તો ફેસ ટુ ફેસ ડિસ્કશન થતું હોય એવું લાગે. એટલે વિડિયો ચાલુ રાખવામાં there is no problem. ઓડિયો ચાલુ ન હોવો જોઈએ, સિવાય કે વાતચીત કરતા હોઈએ ત્યારે. તો આજના માટે એટલું જ. ફરી કાલે મળશું. હેવ એ નાઇસ ડે. થેન્ક યુ એવરીબડી.